What is going on, and welcome back to another YouTube video. I would say that I've got a very special guest today, but this lad actually begged me and kept offering to send me money to come on and do a little heads up challenge today. We have a very long standing member of my community, a recent addition to Twitch streaming streets, someone who competed in the Dare to Stream competition, someone who would almost go as far as to call a friend, but not quite. We have Mr. ImYourBluff, aka Mike. Some call him Magic Mike. I just can't bring myself to do it. Welcome, mate.
No one's ever called me Magic Mike.
No one's ever called you Magic Mike.
No, apart from I don't think. Apart
you
from
told
you
me,
asking
right?
whether...
What you told me before we got on call here was that when your missus is getting you up in the morning, you force her to call you Magic Mike, and it's what gets you in the mood for when it gets you in the mood for streaming. Because you told me you get up at like 3 a.m. when you're playing poker on the streets, and your missus has to come in, and it's just like Magic Mike.
It's more. I get up in the morning on my own, and my missus is still asleep, and I go to the bathroom and I have a look in the mirror, and I say, "Good morning, Magic Mike. How you doing?"
All right. Anyway, we are going to play a little heads up challenge today. We are going to play best of 5. The only way we're doing a forfeit is if the other person loses 5-0, right? So you get to pick my avatar. We're going to do avatar. We're going to do avatar. You get my avatar for a month if it's 5-0, all right?
All right. And if I beat you 5-0, I'm going to take a special picture of myself that you have to put as your avatar, all right?
I might have to run it through the legal team because I don't want to. I just might have to run it through the legal team. All right, we are going to jump into this. Can you press Control or and get your? Oh, it's just like Ace King. I got it.
Don't tell me your hand, mate. Don't tell me your hand. I'm back.
No, what are you talking about, mate?
Here we go. All right, so I'm to fucking bin you, Finton. Mate. All right.
All right.
I cleaned out the bin at 2 a.m. this morning, mate, for you. Plenty of space in there.
All right. For those who aren't familiar with the ImYourBluff stream, he has this little meme, as the kids say, that he likes bin and regs. Where did this come from, and why do you have such a passion for putting regs in a bin? Is it because you have an inferiority complex and you? Yeah,
basically. But no, I mean, it's more what it is. Hold on, I got a lead bluff here. Hold on. It's more that, like, I just don't think, right, that most people in poker, right, take themselves way too fucking seriously.
Yeah, that's reasonable to say.
So I'm just trying to make it a bit of fun. I'm a man of the people, you know. I'm a man of the people. So let's take the game back from these filthy regs, put it back in the hands of those who deserve it, you know, the common woman and man.
So tell us a little bit about what made you decide that you were going to start streaming, because do you know what? You've been in the streaming streets a long time, and I actually forgot, and I raided you the other night, and you mentioned that you'd actually been a mod in my channel, and I forgot about that. I forgot about that. Years ago, right?
It was a dark time in your streaming history, but
desperate times and all that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I reckon I've probably been part of your community for close to since the start of your streaming journey yourself. And I think one time I think you must have misclicked modded me because you were absolutely desperate. And I was in your stream quite a lot. And I used to just like be in the Twitch streets quite a lot, like just watching and stuff. But in terms of like me streaming, I've been a professional poker player for about 2 years now, playing full time. And I grinded pretty fucking... What is this, mate? What is this? Hold on. What is this?
Mate, are you sure you're capable of streaming? You have to stop talking every time your fat fingers have to click on a button. All I can hear is that. You just use the mouse and scroll, mate. How does that sound?
Oh, come on, behave now. What is this?
Let me show the bluff one time. No, I've put too many chips in. I can't be bluffing now. Half my stack's in the middle, son. All right, we'll see a turn.
See a turn. All right, go on, have it all.
I have a flush draw as well now, mate. I think I've got
cool then, isn't it?
All right. No, clear the board. No, I don't believe it. Fucking of course, you just flopped the nuts and you're out. I don't believe that. I honestly,
I've got to go for it and see you later, mate.
Oh no, 0-1. I can't believe that I turned the set as well and thought I was slow rolling. Anyway, you've started streaming. Started streaming, mate. If you don't manage to sit in this time, I'm just taking your blinds. I can't be holding your hand.
I'm sitting. Yeah. I'm here. Look. Look, here we go. So I started streaming. So I was playing poker full time for about over a year and a half, and I put in a lot of fucking hours, especially over the lockdown period where there was like series pretty much every single week. There was like a new series starting on a different site, and I was putting in crazy hours. And obviously living in New Zealand, the time for the peak schedule means that you have to get up at like early morning. And so I kind of got to the point where I was pretty burnt out playing online poker, and like I'm a pretty social person. I'm like I quite enjoy like having people's company and like doing stuff with other people, and I kind of miss that interaction. And so I was just on a car journey with my missus. We were going somewhere with my little girl, my missus, and started talking about maybe streaming, and then decided that I was going to do it, but I would start like mid 2022 or something like that. And then Dare to Stream came up on my Twitter feed, and I was like, "Well, this seems like a pretty good opportunity. What are you doing, mate? What are you doing? Like,
mate,
what is it's going to be over in one hand."
If you are slower than me,
what are you doing?
I'm going to be so mad because if I go 2-0 down and you flop the straight and you've got quads, I'm going to be fuming.
I've got a pair. I've got a pair. It's a pair that's a better than a 3 as well. So. Nah, you're just a filthy merchant. You are just got there with a 5. All right, I folded 4s. I folded pocket 4s.
4s. Oh my god, give me free money, mate. Actually, maybe we should play for a bit of cash monies. All right. Anyway, so you're in the car journey with the missus.
So then decided
breaking
that
out probably the worst dance moves of all time to a few classic tunes.
Mate, but yeah, you cannot tell anyone about dance moves, mate. But then I saw the Dare to Stream stuff come up, and I thought this seems like a pretty good opportunity to just go ahead and do it, right? Like don't wait, just go ahead and do it. So I just got the equipment that I needed, got started, and to be honest, I didn't really need anything. Just needed a webcam, like, and a headset. Like, that was all I needed to get started. And I didn't know whether I was going to enjoy it or not. But after the first week or two, I loved it, man. I absolutely loved it. So I thought I'd carry it on. And Dare to Stream was great. Like, I really appreciate the opportunity that Stars gave me to have kind of get that kickstart to your streaming career, like you wouldn't normally get if you just started on your own. So it was brilliant for that. Hey, you got you, mate. I think now I've got a very clear kind of like picture in my mind of like streaming is the very like kind of medium to long term future for me and poker, and it's definitely reignited my love for the game again. Like being able to like share the highs and lows with people has definitely kind of sparked that kind of enjoyment of the game again in me, which is good, man. Which is what I was kind of slowly starting to lose as I was getting burnt out by just playing like 5-6 days a week on my own in my office.
To go through a period of feeling burnout when you grind that hard, because like I have like ups and downs where like sometimes I just want to study and play like all the time, and then there's moments where I just can't bring myself to do it as regularly. So like I don't think like that necessarily means that you're falling out of love with the game either, right? Like, because that lockdown was wild, right? Like we had to do was play poker. It was like you're isolated from the world. Like I grinded from March 2020 until like September, like to the end of W Coop. I, except for a very small like little bit of time, I pretty much grinded like every single day and studied my heart out. And like it took me about like 4 or 5 months before I was right again. You know, like I just burnt myself into the ground, and like things went well. The stream was great, and like I got lucky and had some good results as well. But like I think it's normal to go through those ups and downs because, like you mentioned, it can be like a kind of lonely game. But I still think it's the best game in the world, mate. So I'm glad that you found the love, and I'm glad that you found streaming. And as much as I like to wind you up, I do think you have a very, very good natural ability for streaming. There's very few people that when I turn them on, they're always on it. It's very tough, right? Like, you know, sessions are long, and like it seems that every time I tune in that you are on it. Like you're bringing the heat, you're being just yourself, just enjoying yourself, and like you said, not taking yourself too seriously. And I think it's great, man. So I'm delighted that you're part of the Twitch streets, and I'm looking forward to following the journey more. But yeah, that's the only compliment you're going to get off me. The rest of it,
I was going to say,
fucking dogs abuse.
Let me just turn off the record button now. There you go. I'll play that back later on.
Yeah, man.
Nah, it's kind of you to say that, mate. Like I said, I'm really enjoying it, and like for me, poker should be fun. Like, and this is the reason why we play this fucking game is because it's a lot of fun, man. And if we can't have fun while we're doing it, if we can't take the piss out of ourselves and others while we're doing it, and just have a bit of light-hearted banter, then what's the point, really? So So yeah, hopefully people pick up on that vibe and get on board with that. And if they're joining the game or they're new to poker, which a lot of people in my stream are, in my community
I'm not surprised, because you're not going to keep anyone around who actually knows what they're doing. They're watching you fumbling over your fat thumbs trying to put in a bet while you're talking. No chance.
mate, look, let's if you want to bring up later in this conversation the ace jack hand and you want to talk through that at any point, you just let me know, all right? Like we can
so
do
for
that.
those who don't know, there's a hand that has actually resulted in me going to therapy 3 times a day for the last 3 months that myself and ImYourBluff played. It was a hand where ImYourBluff bluffed, I think, with ace jack, and did I hear it called the river with ace 10? Like, I truly don't remember. I know that you have it up in the wall.
You hear it called the river with jack 9, I think.
Oh, sorry.
on a king queen blank run out.
I remember now. Now that you mention it, I had jack eye.
There was literally one hand that I could have had you beat, and you were like on the stream. You were like, this could be the greatest moment.
You're just look. You don't get it, right? You just don't understand yet. For if I pull, fuck off. I'm not having that. Not having that. All right, 1-1. We take that.
1-1.
If I pull that off, right? If I manage to pull off a call against you with Jack 9 high, I would have retired you on the spot. You would have been not able to show your face in the Twitch streets ever again.
Never would have happened, mate. I would never have had a worse hand there ever.
In fairness, I
against you
play
against the mate. It was one of the, I was the only thing I was really gutted about was that I wasn't streaming as well, and because I would have loved to have like mashed up together the two reactions.
Yeah, it would have been.
Look at this, mate. Professional now. I'm sitting in straight away.
In fairness, it doesn't make sense to bluff against me there because I notoriously do not fold. Look, I just always click call, and I know that you've only been a poker professional for 2 years and you've only kind of started streaming, but if you want to get your pen and pencil out, right? If you never fold, you can't be bluffed. And therefore,
100% true, mate.
You can sleep happy at night. Do you know what, actually, funnily enough, I was sorting out some content for YouTube for other stuff I'm going to record later on in the day, and I was looking through some old final tables, and you might not remember this, probably not, but I final tabled a Scoop 2K right after the 5K last year, and I made like a really big fold with aces, which is not like, it's not very finty like, and I got abused by my chat for like weeks talking about that hand, and I just found out today that I made the right fold. So once in a blue moon, we actually do fold, and it's good.
Amazing. Look at that. Now you can sleep well.
I know. It's nearly been a year, man. It's been 9 months. I've been just playing that hand over and over in my head. But I did make a massive fold on the EPT final table a few months ago now, and I got it wrong. And it's the first time. I don't know if you've ever encountered that where you make a massive fold and you've like seen that or got told that it was wrong, but it's so much nicer to just call and be like, oh, I got coolered. I'm a bigger fan of that.
Yeah. It's that moment as well where you're just hovering over the button and you see all that feedback coming at you, like as you're hovering over it, you're like, no, I'm just gonna look like an idiot when I call here. But like I for some reason I just like I've got some inkling that I'm gonna be right here like every now and then, so I'm just gonna call, and then you get the fucking bad news that no one ever fucking bluffs.
So tell me about, I know that at the moment you're in the midst of a challenge. I know it involves losing weight.
2 challenges, mate. Yeah.
I know it involves building a bankroll, but what I don't know is how are you getting on without the KFC? Because I know that you are a big fan of KFC. Listen, there's not many people
struggling, mate.
out there. Are you struggling without it? Like I know that you meme about, but like, would you have a KFC every week like before?
Like maybe not like on like clockwork every single week, but like very regularly.
If you had a few drinks and you're hungover, like you're turning to the KFC.
Yeah, if I'm hungover, like it's game over. It's straight to KFC, bruv. Like it's not even a debate. But if it's just a normal week, then there's a very high likelihood that I'm going to go KFC once. Tell us what is the challenge? What is the goal? How are you getting on? How are you feeling? Yeah, good, man. So like basically what happened to kick it all off is a bunch of people in my community kind of said to me, will I do a bankroll challenge? Because I was playing kind of more at the mid stakes kind of level, and people in my chat kind of probably a lot more lower stakes players, and got a bunch of messages saying, will you play like lower stakes, we do a bankroll challenge. And I was like, a lot of people do a bankroll challenge. I would do it, but like it needs to be something else as well.
Yeah, it's not the most
And then I
original thing in
thought,
the world.
no, exactly. Like, if you look on Twitter, like everyday poker Twitter, there's like 20 fucking people doing bankroll challenges and stuff. And so, and obviously my bankroll challenge is better than everyone else's. So just to make that
without
clear.
a doubt. www.twitch.tv/ImYourBluff.
But I thought about like what else I could do to mix it up and make it a little bit different. And I was like, what do I want to achieve over the next like 3 to 6 months? And basically, one thing I've like struggled with, in particular since I had my daughter as well, is getting on top of my health. Like when I was younger, I used to be quite healthy and like in shape and played a lot of sports and all that kind of stuff.
Is it true? Is it true that you injured your knee, or you would have been getting trials at QPR? Is that the correct?
Mate, everyone's had trials at Millwall. It's Millwall, isn't it? Millwall, West Ham. No one has trials at QPR. Mate, I'm not good enough for QPR. Best team in the world, mate. But I thought about like I want to get back into shape. I want to get like healthy again for myself, but also for my family and for my enjoyment of life and just overall benefits.
You want to be able to run around and swim and have the buzz with your daughter for as long as possible, right?
Yeah. Exactly, man. And like I think like the other side of things as well, like as I'm getting older, like I want to keep playing sports, and I'm a very competitive guy. I play football a lot. And
ImYourBluff tried to recruit me for his football team down in New Zealand about 5 years ago, and honestly, me and H were not far off moving.
Mate, it would have been fucking banter if you did. It would have been amazing. I mean, I honestly, I still think like most people will love New Zealand. It's just an amazing country to live in. Clean, safe, not very populated. Same size as the UK. Like everyone speaks English.
I would love to speak more about New Zealand, but tell me, finish the challenge and then we'll move on.
Finish the challenge stuff. Yeah, okay. And then I wanted to get back in shape for football for all those reasons, and so I thought, okay, let's put a weight loss challenge in the mix as well. And so we started off as a 20 for 20, right? So make 20k in the bankroll challenge, so 2k to 22k, 20k profit, and lose 20 kgs. I want to lose more than 20 kgs overall. But 20 kgs is a good start for me, a very good start. And so yeah, I actually did my weigh-in this morning for week 5. So this is an exclusive for you, Finton.
Oh,
right?
yeah?
No one else has had it.
Yes.
So our weight started at 146 kg. So I'm a big boy. I'm 6'4", so I'm a big guy anyway. But 146 kg is just way too big. And now with that week 5, we're down to 131.6.
So you're flying.
So,
mate, what is this pathetic bet, by the way? What is this? That is not a thing. What is that? Like, what is that nonsense? Put your chips in like a real man, or fucking check. Fucking 1/3 on the river. Think I'm gonna take that serious? Would you grow up? Fucking talking about losing weight. It's time to grow up. Never mind you're losing weight. Fucking 1/3 on the river. What kind of disrespectful nonsense is that? Anyway, get yourself in the bin, honestly.
I know. I've been myself. So yeah, the 2 challenges are going really, really well at the moment. I think the bankroll's up to just under 9k from 2k, and we've done about 15 sessions so far.
That's pretty good growing, mate. Honestly, like that. That part growing from the like initial small part to the 6, 7, 8k is obviously going to be the toughest with the restraints you have around what you can reg. I don't know if you're being very aggressive with your strategy or exactly what way you're doing it, but like I would imagine you're through the toughest part now, would be my guess.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what I said to my stream the other day. I think that early stage of getting out the kind of low stakes is the hardest part, because you kind of have to game select very, very hard and play lots and lots of kind of smaller field tournaments as well to kind of balance out the variance, because if you're just going to play like the $1.10 bounty builder and the $5.50 bounty builder, you're going to find it very hard to get out of there because there's such massive fields, the variance is super high.
Yeah, you could run well and get it done, but it's not going to be easy.
So no, you're right. I'm out of the hardest bit for sure. Look, what are you 3-betting me off this stack for, bro? What? I mean, just put me all in there. Come on, mate. I'm not folding.
Put it in.
No, mate. I'm a nit, mate. Oh, come on now.
I king 6 there you go.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
I look at him. He can't even get his words out. He's so tilted.
So yeah, like I think I'm out of the hardest part now. Now I just kind of want to. I've been like reasonably aggressive. I've like I guess I've exercised like 100 to 150 buy-in bankroll management for certain type of vanilla tournaments. But still kind of being pretty conservative with bounty builders, turbos, hypers, as you should be when you're trying to grow a bankroll. So
what I would say for people
yeah.
that are listening, like the difference between ImYourBluff saying he's been aggressive and maybe you thinking, oh, I can do that, is that he would have had the discipline to like move back down if it doesn't go well, which is like the really key component. I actually think being aggressive with a bankroll is very smart and it's the way it should be done. But I'm very cautious about giving out that advice to people, because what will happen is they'll start playing with 100 buy-ins, right? They'll lose like 25 of them and they'll still just keep playing the same stakes, even though they now only have 75 buy-ins, and then they'll be down to 50 and they'll just keep going until they've no cash left. And if you are smart about it and aggressive, like you can be aggressive, take shots, and then just have no ego and be willing to like move back down, put your little tail between your legs, go again. Because like doing it this super slow way where you're like over-rolled all the time, like it's a tough way to grind it out. And like it's not impossible, of course not, but I think the way you're doing it is obviously smart, especially like the difference as well. All right, let's make this 2-1. Easy queen ball. Easy queen ball. He calls it. He knows. Stars, bro. What's up, bro? Yep, the boys. But the difference as well that obviously I think you would feel very comfortable when me saying is the games that you're playing in, you're obviously going to have smashed over the last few years and feel very confident that you were beating them. So like another thing that's an issue for people when they're moving up and down is like they're moving into these games where they don't even know if they 100% win at them.
Yeah.
That makes it a problem, whereas you know all the games you're moving into, moving up and down to, like you're doing well in, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the key part to like any decision that anyone's going to have. I've had like loads of people say to me, "Oh, should I turn professional playing poker and should I quit my job and stuff like that?" Realistically, that you can ask all of the poker professionals that you want, but like it fundamentally comes down to, do you know that you're beating the games that you want to play at? Will beating those games that you play at make you enough money to sustain yourself and to live and to be able to kind of do what you want with your life? And if the answer to any of those questions is no, then like you shouldn't, and you should just look at enjoying poker as a game that you play and do something else that's going to make you more money with your time. You know, there's lots of other things that you can apply yourself to. So like poker's a brilliant game. It doesn't mean that you have to do it as a job. To be honest, I think very few people should do it as a job. Like it's a very hard it's a hard grind, especially nowadays. It's like a really hard grind, and so I think that agree. I try and highlight it with the bankroll challenge. Like you said, like someone asked me the other day about my bankroll management, and I said, look, the reason I'm doing this, the way I've been a little bit more aggressive than maybe other people would be, is that I'm very, very comfortable with moving down stakes if the shot takes don't work. So if you're in that same space, then do it. But if you're not, then apply a much stricter bankroll management. Be honest with yourself, because that's the hardest thing I think in poker is to be honest with yourself. Like, am I actually bad at these games? Am I actually like a winner?
Like a life lesson, right? Like just self-awareness of what you're doing in your life and like whether you're doing enough. Like, because it's all well and good if say you want to be a professional footballer and like you're going out and you're playing football like 3 times a week when you're like 16. Like, good luck, mate. Like the lads that want to play, like they're out there every single day. Like obviously professional football might be not the greatest one because there's going to be a lot of natural talent in that, but there's a lot of things that you can do in life that you can do well, and if you apply yourself and you just work hard, you can do it. But like you have to actually be putting the work in and not love the idea of it, right? Because I think a lot of people love the idea of being a poker player, but they don't realize like the ups and downs that come with it. And like it's not not all, you know, rainbows and butterflies, as they say, right? Like I love it. I mean,
it's very rarely rainbows and butterflies. It's very rarely rainbows and butterflies, mate. If you think about like poker in general is just like, especially MTT, like playing MTTs for a living, it is a lot of losing. Like a lot of days where you're breaking even, losing, and you've got to be just comfortable with that. Like you've got to be. If you're not comfortable with it, then you're going to struggle.
The one thing that I like, kind of to touch more on what you said, and some people might find this harsh that are listening, but I think if you need to ask someone on the internet whether you should take a drastic career change and they're actually going to influence, now maybe you're just like using it as an outlet and you've already got your mind made up, and that's kind of different. But like if you actually need to hear like ImYourBluff or myself say, yeah, you should definitely be a professional poker player, I really don't think it's for you. Like if you can't get to the point where you've made your mind up yourself, because there's going to be a lot of hurdles, and like if you're just not sure, and then like the first time you go on like a 3-4 month 5 month downswing and like you're not really 100% sure if it's for you, like you're gonna throw the towel in too quick. And
That's
I just
right.
want to also make it very clear that like I absolutely love playing poker and wouldn't change it for the world. But like it's just when people see it and they're like, oh, that'd be cool to do. You're living my dream. And it's like it's not an impossible dream, right? Like it's still very possible to do it if you like put the work in, is what I would say.
Yeah.
So how long so like you're definitely playing poker for years, right? Like you're saying that you've been
Yeah,
in professional poker, but
yeah.
I feel like you're in and around the streets for years and years and years.
Yeah. So I've been playing poker for like 12 years. Started playing poker 12 years ago, and then, like when I say started, I mean like playing like home games with mates and stuff like that. Like not taking it seriously at all. But like seriously playing poker for probably about 6 years, and kind of putting in a lot of time and effort and study into poker for about 6 years. And I was very fortunate that I had a job previous to this where I worked like 4 days a week. So I always had Monday, which is a Sunday grind for Kiwis, for New Zealanders. I always had the Monday off, so I could just like grind full time. I got a flush, mate. What you got? Oh my! What is this?
What you got, mate? What you got, mate? What you got, mate?
Absolute scam.
By the way, if you lose those 10 big blinds, it's over. The challenge is done. You can get yourself in the fucking bin, son.
It's all started off so promising, this did as well. But
see, here's the thing, right? I was telling PokerStars I was doing a challenge, and they said, "Oh, that's one of the guys from there to stream. He's actually not very good at poker. Is there any chance that you could let him win the first one so you don't crush his hopes? Because it's nice to see these up and coming streamers." And I said no, but then they paid me well, and here we are.
It's just nice to be talked about, mate. At least people are talking about me. So yeah, I was able to play pretty much for like a year and a half. Where I'd play like 2 or 3 days a week while having a job, and over that time I built up a big sample size of hands and over decent games that I would, if I was going to turn professional, I would be playing, and I could see that I was beating those games, and so I then said to my wife, okay, I really want to do this as a career. I want to give it a crack. While I'm at an age where I still have the energy to do it, and that I still have the passion, and that I still think I'm beating the games at. I can't believe I'm folding off 9 big blinds. And so I want to give it a crack. So what are we going to do? So me and my wife are I'm sure like you and Hannah, I kind of just like work together as a team. We put plans into place. We support each other's dreams. Like we want to make each other's like whatever we want to do in life. We want to make that happen for the other person. And so we just came up with a plan, made sure we had enough money behind us to be able to withstand no money coming in potentially from poker, because you should plan for that. And all right, mate, if you got me, you got me. No. And so we put the plan in place. I put a very, very strict plan in place of how I was going to start for the first 6 months. That kind of went out of the window with lockdowns, because pretty much as soon as I quit my job,
so in a way, it was
the whole world went into lockdowns.
Like in a way,
it was amazing timing, yeah. And then from there, it went really, really well for the first 6 months. And I was very, very lucky because of the lockdowns and all that kind of stuff. It went very, very well. I was very, very lucky. Made a good amount of money early doors.
Nice little heater to like be able to take the potential Baron run that might come at a further date, yeah.
Exactly. And so, all right, you got me, mate. Yeah. All right. Well, I've got a save face now, haven't I?
See this right now, but this is a bin. And you belong in there, son. All right, I'm delighted with that. Easy. I don't know if I've actually won any of the challenges. That's why I kept getting like top level poker players on, and ImYourBluff was saying that he was interested. I was like, fucking sign me up for a little bit of that. A nice little gimme. This is like when the Man City first team go and play against the under 14s. Good for the confidence. Big fan of what's going on here. Yeah. That sounds great, mate. I do. So is all right, a few questions, because if I win this one, you're gonna be I'm obviously kicking you off immediately. Is the missus from the UK, and did you guys move down there together? And then tell me a little bit about New Zealand life, because you've been pitching to me for 5 years. You may as well be on the fucking tourist board, to be honest, mate.
Mate, I'm getting commission if you move over here, by the way. So my missus is a Kiwi, so she's from New Zealand, and we met in London, and we worked together for about a year, and we were seeing each other for about a year and a half, and then decided at the point where her visa was kind of coming up, where like, do we renew it? Do we go back to New Zealand? What's going to happen? I was like, let's give New Zealand a crack. Like, I'd lived in London my whole life, and kind of just like, well, it's not. Anyone who's from London knows that.
It's weird if you lived there your whole life that you've already lost the accent, mate.
I know,
fucking geezer, what, mate? You fucking what, son? Get in the fucking bin, son.
It'll never happen, mate. It'll never happen. Some things are just too deeply ingrained. And yeah, so I was like, all right, let's go and do a little tour in New Zealand. Let's go and have a look and see what it's like, and if we like it. And that was about 11 years ago. And
11
then
years
I was
ago,
like,
eh?
yeah. And then that was it. Then we decided to say, fuck it, let's move over to, let's do it. Obviously, my wife's got family here, and so if we were ever going to have a kid, then that was going to come into it as well. And so yeah, we did it. So we lived in Auckland for the first 5-6 years, because the transition from London to New Zealand is pretty harsh, really. I mean, New Zealand's very quiet, very quiet compared to London. And like you in most places in New Zealand, you go out and you try and get a bit of grub after like 8:30 at night, 9 o'clock. Everywhere's closed. Everywhere's closed.
Okay.
So it's that kind of place.
Are they big on family life? Is that why, or like?
Yeah, a lot of them. Yeah, a lot of New Zealand is rural as well.
There's not a lot of density, I guess, in terms of people like where they are. So like having like a restaurant open too late just doesn't make any sense when people have gone home.
Exactly, man. Like, and that's basically what it is. It's just the scale of things in New Zealand means that you just don't get the same kind of convenience and luxury that you do in more populated countries. So it's something that I had to get used to. So going to Auckland, which is the most populated city, it's got about half of New Zealand's population in one city.
And what's that? Just for the less informed.
So the population is about close to 5 million now, and it's probably about 2 million, little close to 2 million.
It's very similar to Ireland, because that's about the same population of Ireland and not far off like the numbers in Dublin, right? Like.
Oh right, I thought Ireland was more populated than that. I thought.
So it depends if you include like the north of Ireland, but there's about 5 million people in Ireland.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'm just going to make sure, and I don't sound like a complete idiot. Population. I just want to make sure. Yeah, no, 5.01 million. I was off by 0.1.
There you go. Yeah, that's pretty good, mate. So yeah, it took a bit of getting used to, but enjoyed it, man. And so then after a while, we were then like, okay, we got to the point where we were like, should we start a family? And we had our little girl, and
so you're there. Are you live for now? Like you're down there now, like roots down, like not leaving, or is there always the potential?
I don't know, man. Like I think we're the kind of family that are always open to like a new adventure, something new. I do miss home quite a bit. Like I miss my mates. I miss the hustle and bustle. I miss football. I miss going to QPR on a Saturday. Like
were you season ticket holder, or were you just like, would you just go regularly?
Yeah. I was a season ticket holder, and I was home and away. And
some buzz, man. I was only talking about it on my stream yesterday. I'd love to be a home and away Villa fan for a year, but more just even the away games. It seems like the away days are just special. Like,
and it's just something about like like this thing. I try and explain it to people over here, because the sports over here in New Zealand, there's nothing that gets close to the buzz of football, right?
Yeah.
But like getting up on a Saturday morning, hungover after being out with your mates all night, go and have a fry up. Then going to the bookies and putting a little bet on. Then going to the pub and having a couple more pints.
You're just a classic fucking London boy, aren't you? Like, I love it, mate.
Then having a walk down the Ellerslie Road to QPR and seeing all the fans and getting the buzz. You know, that walk up to the ground, that it gets the butterflies going in your stomach. You know,
mate. I just say, so when I do it, it feels like a pilgrimage. Like it feels like it's my religion, and I'm in like, you know, my Mecca. Like when I'm walking up to Villa Park, I'm like, this is just unbelievable. Like, and every time I get goosebumps, like I'm getting goosebumps now thinking about it. Like I love it, mate.
I went to Villa Park the last time I was over in the UK. I went to the QPR Villa game on New Year's Day. It was New Year's Day, and I'd got in at 6 a.m. from the night before, and the game was at 3 o'clock, and I had to drive to Villa. And I was so I drove on my own to Villa. Very dangerous. Don't advise it. Do not advise it at all.
What's that? The M6 or something?
Yeah. And then parked up, had a kip for about an hour, because I was halfway up there. I was struggling, mate. I was struggling big time. And got a KFC on the way.
Of course he did. Gave you a bit of energy, got you through.
Colonel sorted me out, no worries. And that was, and then I went to the game, and it was 2-2. It was a brilliant game, 2-2. I remember Bereche Eze and Luke Freeman scored for us, and you lot played pretty well as well. As a season, I think you went back up to the Prem, and yeah, it was a great game, and I just missed that. I missed that buzz of football. I mean, what have you got here, mate? I got straight.
Mate, if you lose this, it's fucking 4 in a row. You need to you need to save a little bit of face here, son.
I'm trying, mate. I'm trying my best. And so yeah, I really do miss the football. So like, I'm looking forward to coming back to the UK this year and kind of seeing the friends, the family, and going to the football mainly. And yes, I do miss the UK, but like New Zealand life is great. I've loved New Zealand life. It's been an amazing place to raise my daughter.
How do you find streaming at those times? Like, is it just second nature to you at this point? Because obviously, before we got on call here, you mentioned that it's 3 a.m. You'd gone for your little walk, and that was like a lie-in for you. So, like, are you sleeping? I mean, are you just not sleeping a lot, or are you just in bed early?
I'm just in bed early. So, like on the days where I have Monday morning is Sunday for us, for the Sunday grind for us.
Yeah.
And so that night I'll go to bed I'll go to bed before my daughter. I go to bed at like 6 o'clock, and then I get up. I normally get up at about 1:30, 1:45. Go for a walk, and then get ready for the grind. I grind off stream for about an hour, and then I fire the stream up about 3 a.m. And then on weekdays that are non-Sundays, I tend to do a little bit later. So I start like maybe an hour or so later. But like I find it like second nature now. Like I've been doing this for 2 years, right? I've been getting up at this time and grinding this schedule for 2 years. So streaming and doing it is actually no different to like what I've been doing.
How is it with the missus, like in terms of like your social life? Because that's one thing that like I did nights, but not the same, right? So like I did nights, but I would get up at like 10 p.m. but I was going to bed at 2 p.m. So like that was my schedule at one point, and then I'd start streaming at like 11 p.m. Like when you would have first been on the stream, it was because I was on the nighttime schedule all the time. That's why you would have been in there quite a lot, probably.
That's right. Yeah.
And I like my missus was working the literal opposite schedule. She was managing a restaurant in Dublin at the time, and like it can be tough, like trying to make it that you have time for each other. Mate, I think this might be the final nail in the coffin. I think this might be the final nail. Nah, come on, punish him. He'll be so mad.
In the bin. There we go. Well played. Skill game.
Oh god. But yeah, so how do you find that for like managing to find time, or is it just like she's letting you be on the journey and like that'll come later on at some point?
I think it's a mix of both. Like we do find time and we make time for each other. She has a pretty flexible career herself, and so she works from home sometimes, and we see each other quite a lot anyway. But like we just make time to make sure that we have a lot of family time, especially on the days off that I have, right? Yeah. So the days off that I have, I try and make the most of those.
If anyone's watching and wants to check out ImYourBluff on www.twitch.tv/ImYourBluffPoker, what is your schedule like? What is it rigid or is it kind of flexible?
Yeah, no, it's pretty much the same every week. I want to call here, mate. I got a pretty bad combo to call here, but I'm so tempted.
A6.
Michael. Oh my god, kings. How's he got kings? So I'll say it's confusing, right? Because if I say the times in New Zealand, you have to like minus a day. So I'll say it in GMT. So basically, this is UK times that I stream. I stream Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. That's pretty much my stream schedule at the moment. I do 4 days a week. And I do full sessions on all those days. I tend to end up going 12 to 14 hours. Yet the other day I did 16 hours.
Yeah, man, I've done a few of them in the past, and like, the one thing I would say, right? Like, I think when you first start streaming, having a willingness and desire to put in a lot of hours is incredibly important. And I think Twitch designed the way it is, where it's like a hamster wheel. Like you run, you gain momentum, and if you jump off, like, and you stop, like it can really drastically hurt your progress. But like streaming that many hours, like consistently, will lead to burnout at some point for you. Like it just will. So like I'm not telling you not to do it, and I'm not trying to like discourage whatever, like putting in a grind. I love seeing people that are working hard when they're starting and stuff, but just be careful with too many like 12 plus hour streams in the same week, because like, you won't have the longevity to go like 1, 2, 3 years. And like this game is a longevity game. Like if you want to survive in it, like you need to look after yourself. And like you're doing it with the weight loss and stuff, but like if you're whacking out 12-hour streams like 4 times a week, even like with 1 15-hour thrown in there, and it like gets you up to nearly 50 hours, like your days off, like you're not going to be as present and like there as you want to be with your family either, right? So just be careful with it. That's all I'd say.
100%, and I definitely am a firm believer, Finton, in when people have done it and trodden the path already, that you should listen to a lot of their advice, and I definitely I've heard stuff from you and other people that that kind of stuff is very real, and
Look,
I take that on
like
board.
I did it as well, right? I'm not trying to I did those crazy fucking hours where you were streaming like 50, 60 hours a week, and like I've been there, so like I can't sit here and say that I didn't do it and like be like, do as I say, not as I did, blah blah blah. But I'm just saying, be careful, because like some of the burnout that I had at different points like was pretty bad, and it just resulted in me having to take months off, right? And if you have to take months off, like like then when you're starting out, like that's no good, because like you're just building your momentum and then you're gone. So like you'd be better off doing like 4 or 5 8-hour streams a week and doing that consistently for two years than like doing these fucking wild streams where you're putting in these massive long hours, and at the end of the stream you're pretty like disengaged and not even being entertaining. So like you're better off like showing up consistently and making it like the long term, rather than just like having this like, I'm gonna come out of the gates fucking firing. And but like to a degree, I'm not trying to take away like I said, I'm not trying to take away that willingness to work, because like some people come on, they're like, oh, I'm streaming poker, and they're streaming like 12 hours a week. I'm like, fucking good luck, mate. Best of luck. Best of luck.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I'm not trying to discourage you from working too hard. By the way, I'm owning your soul here. I had 10-7 there a second ago. Took all those chips. It's too easy.
I was so close to calling ace high, mate. I was so close to calling ace high.
From a baby son.
Yeah. All right. He's just distracting me. That's what he's doing, Chase. He's giving me all this life advice, and I'm like, oh, this is wonderful, Finn. And he's just like, bluff.
Go on then.
Go on then.
Ruin his day. Ruin his fucking day. Ruin his fucking day. Up the boys.
Disgrace.
4-1. Let me just fill that in. So you won the first one, and then you lost 4 in a row. Do you have any final words that you'd like to share after you apologize for wasting my time with that performance? But do you have any final words that you'd like to share? Anything you'd like to shout out? Whatever it is, mate, this is your stage. Go for it.
I mean, give my channel a follow, twitch.tv/ImYourBluff, and obviously thank you to you, mate, for giving me the opportunity to come on and have a chat with you. Big fan, and make sure you follow QPR, everyone. Eat your KFC and bin some fucking regs. So yeah, that's it.
Really appreciate it, mate. An absolute pleasure. I will chat to you soon. Goodbye.